Good morning, Unity of Flagstaff, and all those who may be watching from other places. Let us know where you're sitting. Now, if we were all here, you'd be getting your coffee, your tea, water. Penny would be flying around this room checking on everybody and everything. And Michael would be holding court. So Helen, tell him to sit down now because we're starting. And in case you're wondering why Matt and I have shown up with hats 2 Sundays in a row, it's because we've decided when we're together we're the Madhatters. So today, no unitones, the Madhatters and the Reverend Penny Honey. So we'll settle in from that nonsense to a little welcome. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. So open your heart and listen. So open your heart and listen. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. So open your heart and listen. So open your heart and listen. You are welcome.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. This just wouldn't be possible without the hands and the hearts of a lot of folks. And we're keeping our social distancing and we're trying not to have too much fun in the process. But I just want to say a special thank you to Josie as our production manager, Robbie Bergman as our sound guy, of course, Wiley Beveridge on piano, and Matt Devlin here on soon-to-be guitar. So welcome. Yes, you have landed at the Unity of Flagstaff YouTube channel, and this is how we're doing church these days. So thank you. There were a lot of channels you could have chosen this morning, or whatever time you're watching this, and that's the beauty of it too, right? We appreciate you tuning in. We also appreciate you putting some comments in there. We'd love to connect with you. Have some suggestions? I'm listening. You have some talk topics that you're really feeling a need to hear about? I'm listening to that too. Put that in the comments. Be sure and check out our website, which is www.unityofflagstaff.org. That'll tell you all about the Thursday meditation moment that we're having on our YouTube channel right here. Also, our Wednesday virtual prayer circle. It's a fabulous experience, and you can find that link on our website also. So thank you. Thank you. Interesting times we're living in. And so in this moment, I'm going to turn it back over to Wiley. He will lead us in meditation. This is a time that you can just let all of those fears and concerns just rest for a moment. Visually see yourself putting them on a shelf and letting them be there for this time as we come together as a community and in meditation.
Lean in to what is here and now. Lean in to what is here and now. And lean into yes, and lean into yes, lean in. As you settle in to whatever comfortable place of home you are, just notice, what is it like to be here right now? And take in a deep breath and release it. And here's a few moments to allow all the things that we've walked through this last week. And it's a lot. For just a few minutes, to let them wash through us, unhindered, unjudged. Take another deep breath in. Hold it and release. We're going to have some silence and hold the fact that though we're not present, in unity we believe we are absolutely connected by an energy beyond our understanding and knowing. And that in this silence, it's a powerful thing that we do, a powerful connection. And as we approach that silence, think about this concept of leaning in. Because we're going to have thoughts, right? We all have the old monkey mind, as the Buddhists say. And some may react like I do, which is kind of recoil and want it to go away. But for this time, hold this thought and image. When those thoughts come, lean into those thoughts softly and just say, thank you. Let them be. And return to the silence. And however you want to focus that time, and say thank you. to where we sit, where we call home. And right where you are, with us, just sing for a moment. We say yes to God. 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 We say yes to So I want to share a song by one of my favorite composers and authors, Cortana. If you haven't heard her music, you can find her on YouTube like everything else. And I love how things work with us, with Matt, Trina, when you're around, we're able to be with Trina. Penni has thoughts on talks, and songs arise. Mostly easily most of the time. Occasionally it's a little struggle, but that's being human, isn't it? And these two songs, Matt wrote a new song.
Of course.
I did not, but I found this lovely song, so I think you'll love it. It's called What If? Oh no, I need my glasses.
So
Things don't change. Thank you for being accepting. I know the notion may seem a little strange. What if what is doesn't need to change? Whether the weather is overcast or clear, who you are is so vast that all is welcome here. What if the rain cloud that poses such a threat is really just a force of grace that you haven't met? Bare your skin, let the christening begin. Is it even possible to keep from getting wet? What if what you're hoping not to feel, or wishing you could will away, has something to reveal? What if this gale force that rocks you to the core is really just a wind horse pointing to the shore? Lean in, like a sailboat face the wind. What if you were curious, willing to explore. I know the notion may seem a little strange, but what is, doesn't need to change. And whether the weather is overcast or clear, who you are is so vast that all is welcome here, that all is welcome here, that all is welcome here. Good song.
Okay, fist bump. Virtual fist bump.
Fist bump.
Air fist bump. There you go. Thank you, Wiley. Yay. Okay, round of applause. You can do that in your own home, right? All right. So, I asked the question if it'd be okay if I told a joke today. And I got a resounding yes. So, I got one for you. Actually, I have two for you. So, I have a fear of speed bumps. I'm slowly getting over it. I also have a fear of elevators, but I've started taking steps to avoid it. There you go. All right. Hey, I'm loving this virtual thing. I have my own applause machine. This is awesome. Fear makes us feel our humanity. Benjamin Disraeli said this, and it seems that there is plenty of fear to go around these days, folks. Plenty of fear to go around. Some is justified by factual information, and of course, some of it is exacerbated by endless sound bites, of sensationalism. Some is magnified by the things that we're already afraid of, but there's plenty to go around. Now, that isn't completely different than our typical lives, is it? I have fear. I had fear before the coronavirus. How about you? We are experiencing fear. And I suppose I should be looking for topics and things to alleviate that fear for you. I suppose that I should be trying to tell you that it'll all be okay. And I'm not saying that it won't be. But I refuse to practice spiritual malpractice. Because we are experiencing fear. In New Thought, we have the tendency to want to throw those little quips out, like, it's all good, and just affirm a new thought, and it is what it is. And I'm not saying that those aren't great things to affirm. What I am saying is we are experiencing fear. However, is it possible that in this time of so much available fear, that we are turning that fear on ourselves as a weapon, when in reality, it could be a tool? The fear we are experiencing has a lot of science behind it. Of course, there's the science of the virus we have going around. There's the science of fight or flight. The fear response arises, according to Wikipedia, from the perception of danger, leading to confrontation with or escaping from, avoiding the threat. Recently, I received a very inspiring message from one of our congregants. And this message was from Elizabeth Gilbert. She is the author of Eat, Love, Pray. Eat, Pray, Love. Which order was that in? You guys know what I'm talking about. So thank you, Sandy, for this. So she reminds us that it's okay to be afraid. And she reminds us that Step away from or refrain from allowing people around you that are saying, oh, it's okay, just get over it, you'll be all right. So she says to really work at not being around those folks, because that is not acknowledging what you're actually feeling. You know, it's a stretch right now to see that it's all good. And personally, I can't get there. However, I can see that there's good in this. History has proven that good truly can come out of negative things. We have a lot of examples of that. In 1942, duct tape was discovered. How about that? And this was a military act. They used it to wrap ammunition boxes in. Now, what appears to be a negative need, the fact that we have to be wrapping ammunition boxes at all, resulted in something that I don't know about you, but I believe for a long time that duct tape, tie wire, and prayer hold the world together. So that wasn't such a bad thing. And how about in the 60s, when the reliable computer networking was required from the military, and this eventually resulted in the internet. We're happy about that today, aren't we? Right? And in the 70s, we had what was called satellite navigation. And we all have it on our phones. And I don't know about you, but I'd be lost most of the time. We now call it GPS. You know, I can look up where I need to go. I can find my favorite ice cream shop. I can tell you how long it'll take me to get there. I can even count the calories of what I'm going to have on my GPS from the website of that ice cream shop. Not such a bad discovery. There is good that comes out of things that are challenging. And I'm not saying that you're going to see all those right now. We are hearing all kinds of human kindness that's happening on the planet. We're seeing all kinds of good and actions that allow us to express the divine beings that we are for each other. You know, a lot of celebrities, professional athletes have given money toward this virus and towards the fighting of it. Here locally, our very own Flagstaff Food Center has retooled their whole business so that they can pack all the meals to go. They're looking for volunteers. Please go to their website or go to ours and find out how to do that. Our very own Good Samaritan exchange, where people are stepping up and saying, I'll go pick up that prescription. I'll go do that grocery shopping. I have a lot more requests of people that say I want to help than I actually have people asking for help. You know, that's some of the good that can come out of this. Humans are like water. We really are like water. And given the chance, most of the time, we will rise to our greatest expression. And we're doing it, folks. Doesn't mean it's all good. It just means there's good in it. What if the fear is our clue? What if all that is going on is just the opportunity for us to express and get a deeper understanding of who we are and what's important to us? Because you know what? I know that for me, if I am willing to ride my fear all the way down to where it's scaring the hell right out of me, if I'm willing to ride it all the way down, I eventually will realize what is important to me in that moment. It's like the story in the Bible, in Genesis, when Jacob said to that angel that wanted to wrestle all night long, and finally the angel said, you know what? This is paraphrased, of course. You know what? I'm done with this. You know, let's just be done here. And Jacob said, you know what? You ain't getting out of here until you bless me. What if we took our fear from that perspective? What if we wrestled it until we said, you're going to bless me. I'm going to be better as I come out on the other side of this, because we have that capacity. And if you didn't know you had that capacity, if you will take a look at your life, if you will do just a quick little review of times that seemed were impossible, and you're standing here to tell about it, you're doing it. You have that capacity to wrestle those angels, to wrestle that fear until you get blessed. And we will come out on the other side of this better because of it. I am not saying that I'm glad that we have the coronavirus. Of course I'm not saying that. What I am saying is we have the coronavirus. We have it on this planet. Who are we going to be, and how are we going to walk through the fear of that now? That's what I'm saying, because it is what it is. We do have this happening on our planet right now. And it's the same way in all those little pockets of your life that you experience fear. You get to wrestle it until you get blessed. Now, how do we move to this practice around fear? How do we do that? How do we remember to not just practice our humanness of survival, but to practice our humanity in the midst of what appears to be a crisis? First, I invite us into showing a little compassion. All those good stories, all that great stuff we see happening out there as a result of where we find ourselves in the world right now, that's compassion, folks. So I encourage us to keep doing that. But I also invite you into showing a little compassion for the fear that you are holding. Now take that in for just a moment. Hold compassion around the fear that you are experiencing. We had a great virtual journaling group last Saturday. Check our website for the next one. If I were you, I wouldn't miss it. One of the exercises that we did in this journaling group was we said, our fearless leader, Sue Mine, led us into this visualization of what would you have to say if you were the virus? What would you have to say if you were that? And it was really quite amazing. It took a little bit for me, I think some other folks in the group, to get our heads kind of wrapped around that concept of being the virus. I don't want to be the virus, you be the virus. I don't want to be the virus. It took me a little bit to get there. But once I did, when I started coming from a more compassionate place, I realized nobody's being punished in this. Nobody's a victim in this. They're not being victimized in this. The virus isn't picking on you or me or them. It is doing what it does. It's surviving, just like us. It's doing its best, and it morphs into its next expression so that it can survive. That's its job on the planet. Now, I would be much happier if it would just find somewhere else to go besides Earth right now, and we could send it on its merry little way. But what about showing it a little bit of compassion and realizing that we're not victims in this? This virus is doing its job, just like we're doing our job to adapt in this environment. What if I felt that kind of compassion around the virus? Doesn't that seem weird? Isn't that kind of counterintuitive? But as soon as I watched this group get their head wrapped around that concept, I heard people moving to a deeper place of compassion for themselves. They started giving themselves permission to be afraid and to love and show compassion for themselves right where they were. We heard things like, if I were the virus, I would say, I'm the object of your awakening. How about that one? I came to serve you, and once these lessons are recognized, I'll be on my way. And how about this? Take these moments to find each other again, says the virus. What if the fear that we're experiencing could be transformed into that kind of inner conversation? What kind of peace could we arrive at? What fear could we then release? And what fear could we transform into a new expression? Were we able to be in a place of compassion for ourselves, for all others, and for the virus? Can we love it out of our lives? I think there's a possibility. And to our fear, I say, I see you. I just want to wrap you up and let you know that I understand you're here to do your job. We get the gifts that you're bringing to us, and now be on your way. Can we wrap our heads around the concept that the fear that we're experiencing has come to serve us, and that we're going to wrestle it, and this community is going to support you in wrestling it until you get blessed by it? We can shift the consciousness on this planet by those very practices. And another way to take this tool of fear and use it to our advantage is to stay in the present moment. Are you okay right now? And if you happen to be someone who isn't, if you're physically suffering or you're having challenges, which we do and have had and will continue to have before and after the virus, are you okay right now? In this little moment, right now, and now this one, and now this one, and now this moment. Are you okay right now? Stay in this moment, right here in this moment. This is where the divine thought has the opportunity then to move through you and express through you so that you are clear to make better choices and better decisions. Stay in this moment. And it almost always comes back to that, doesn't it, in New Thought, about staying in the now moment. And reframe your fear. Reframe it, folks. Let's turn this around. And what if it's come to protect you from danger? I want you to do this with me for just a moment. I want you to place your hands on your heart. Just do this with me. And I want you to consider the fear that you feel right now. I want you just to consider it. Now, from a place of compassion, ask that fear, what did you come here to teach me? What did you bring for me today? And every time those fearful thoughts come to you, I encourage that little 10-second exercise. This is how we turn that weapon of fear into a tool and we move ourselves forward. In these times that we are in, which are unprecedented, it is our gift to see how fear and how this situation can bless us. Now, some of us wrestle a lot longer than others. Some of us choose not to stop and take that breath and see the next easier way to go. I'm one of them. Fear. What did you come to teach me? We will turn this around, folks. We will show up in different ways and in ways that we never even expected of ourselves. In these times, we are invited into this greater expression, like water to rise to our greater expression. We are asked in these moments from the deepest parts of our souls to show up in a new way. to be that expression of spirit and that calm and that presence. These are crazy times, and we're just the people. You're the one. I'm the one. We're the ones. Let's take that fear that we're experiencing and be compassionate with ourselves that we are experiencing it. And let's turn it around. Let's make it the tool that it can be for us. Let's wrestle them angels until we're blessed, folks. Namaste.
So this is a song called These Times. These times are not what we expected. Everybody is affected. There's no escaping all the fears we've collected through the years. These times are a scary shade of dark, waiting for the other shoe to drop. Nobody really knows where all of this will stop. Maybe I should take a breath, collect my thoughts and get some rest, and step into the light. So join me, if you will, in these times, standing straight and tall in these times, and there will be a light in these times. I believe that we will find, if we push the darkness from our minds, we will be just fine in these times, in these times, in these times. These times are a chance for us to reconnect, face our fears and face ourselves, holding on to the things that matter most. These times are unlike times that we have known. We're isolated but not alone. We can help each other carry on. Maybe I should take a breath, collect my thoughts and get some rest, and step into the light. So stand, if you will, in these times, standing straight and tall in these times. There will be a light in these times. I believe that we will find, if we push the darkness from our minds, we will be just fine. So join us, if you will, in these times, standing straight and tall in these times. There will be a light in these times. I believe that we will find, if we push the darkness from our minds, we will be just fine in these times, in these times, in these times. We will be just fine.
you, thank you, thank you. Yes, yes, Matt Devlin wrote that song. You know, I tell them 1 week what I'm going to talk about, and then they show up with this amazing music. So round of applause. All right, so we're going to do a little thank you, God. Yes, and we're going to do a virtual tithe and offering time. So folks, on our website, www.unityofflagstaff.org, you will find a donate button. I know that comes as a big surprise. A donate button. That's what we need, is a donate button. Yeah. This ministry is committed to staying connected with you. You know, my rent is still going to come due, and this ministry is committed to supporting me in that. We love to support and thank Wiley by of course, paying him. We can't do that. We can't continue to do that if we don't have your support. So I feel like a TV evangelist, folks. Dig deep, right? Hit that donate button. And if that doesn't work for you, you can always mail a donation to us at our P.O. Box 1740. That is Flagstaff 86002. So thank you for that. Don't forget, we have Thursday meditation. And that is at 6:30. That's on our YouTube channel. And then check our website, www.unityofflagstaff.org, to get the link to our virtual prayer circle. And be sure and leave us some comments. We want to hear from you. We're now going to close with the song, Creed of the Heart. Thank you, folks. We appreciate you. Create an amazing week. Embrace that fear, wrestle it down till it blesses you. Namaste.
Our God is love, our race is human, our religion is oneness. That's the creed of the heart. Our God is love, our race is human, our religion is oneness. Amen. Our God is love, our race is human, our religion is oneness. That's the creed of the heart. Our God is love, our race is human, our religion is oneness. Amen.
Here we go.
Our God is love,
Come on.
our race is human,
Keep my distance.
our religion is oneness. That's the creed of the heart. Our God is love, our race is human, our religion is oneness. Amen.